Today we'll find out some reasons why Victor Osimhen still hasn't gotten any chance to play in the Premier League. And I have this to maybe conclude with. I think it's either having a bad management, a bad technical advisor, or he's either not trusted by the Premier League teams. Because if you look at the signings that are happening around the Premier League, and if you look at this guy and all what he has achieved from Napoli to Galatasaray, and this is two different leagues, he has done a lot. And if you look at the signings that are taking place and the amount of money taking place in the Premier League, you just come to wonder why this guy is still hanging in the air, or which he actually really loved to play in the Premier League, especially for Chelsea. Now let's see. Victor Osimhen is a very good player. He has proved it in two different leagues, and he actually really loved to play for Chelsea. And this thing started last season when he was trying to come to Chelsea, and the deal didn't work. But everyone was hoping that this season is going to happen, and actually still it didn't work. It's not working, and he has the option as well not to go back to Napoli, but he has the option to come back to play in the Premier League. But if you look at all the Premier League teams, no one is asking Victor Osimhen. And the question is, what is going on with the guy? And probably, I don't know what's happening, but if you just take a look at some players that have been signed. If you take a look here, you're going to find Mohamed Kudus. Mohamed Kudus just moved over to Tottenham Hotspur. I mean, if you look at this player, I want to compare this player with Victor Osimhen. The gap is so big, but still, he finds a space in the Premier League to move from a club, from a better club to even a more better one, playing for Tottenham Hotspur. But Tottenham Hotspur, if you want to look at this club, like, okay, why didn't you ask or knock on the door of Victor Osimhen? You don't trust him to play in the Premier League after all he has done for Napoli, after all he did in Galatasaray? Why no one in the Premier League is asking this guy out? It's a question that is very surprising to everyone, because I think when we talk about the striker, he's one of the hottest strikers right now, but no one is asking him out, and it's a lot of questions to be answered. And I think his management could give us a more better answer. I'm also going to look at it, because even Chelsea legends, Obi Mikel last season was fighting, doing everything, defending him, and struggling to bring him to the club where he's one of the legends of Chelsea. He has talked about this over and over, what he can do and how he can help the club. That is the guy we need. But if you take a look, they just went ahead to get Jackson, and this season they just went ahead to get Liam Delap, and then of course João Pedro, which, if I want to compare all of these players, and I don't think they're gonna be nowhere near to Victor Osimhen. But then I believe that the trust is not there. And then also Didier Drogba also talked about him and saying that he's a very good player. If he comes to the club, of course, Drogba is one of the best, one of the legends of Chelsea, and actually he did very incredible job in Chelsea. And he said on his part, if the guy is going to come to Chelsea, it's going to be a very good deal and a great one, because we need some people who are going to leave this club again to play the football we used to watch Chelsea play around 2012, 2010 and all these things. So he also supporting the side of Victor Osimhen coming. But then if you look around, you're going to find the signings that are happening in the Premier League. You see Adingra just moved over to Sunderland, and it's not about the money this time around. But if you take a look at what does Sunderland need, do they need someone who's going to put them in a good position in the Premier League? Yes, they need. And why didn't they ask for Victor Osimhen? They're going for Adingra. And if you take a look at Newcastle as well, Newcastle is going to Nottingham Forest and asking for players. I mean, if you just look at all the transfers that are taking place in the Premier League this time, it's absolutely you're gonna ask a question, so much more questions, like what is happening to Victor Osimhen. And Manchester United as well, I mean, that is even one of the worst clubs that needs someone who is going to bring them into the game, because they're actually really falling right now. But then if you see, they don't have this much offer to Victor Osimhen, which is something very horrible. I think this is one of the players that Victor Osimhen is not coming to play in the Premier League. Either he's not trusted here, he's not being trusted to play here in the Premier League by the teams, or he must be having a very bad management. That is the only thing I can talk about. Bad management can lead players to take wrong decision. I don't know if he has a technical advisor, but sometimes you've just got to drop your wages a little bit down and then come to where you need to prove it, and then you move. If you take a look at Mohamed Kudus, I don't believe he played something very good for West Ham last season, but right now he's moving to Tottenham Hotspur in a very good deal. And if you look at Victor Boniface, like if someone is going to be there to tell him, all right, okay guys, let's do this. Since you want this amount, can we just drop it, get here, prove it, and then increase the wages? I mean, if you have better management and of course technical advisors, I don't believe that Victor Osimhen is still going to be hanging in the air, because right now the only option he has now is to go back to the Galatasaray. And if you think that he doesn't want to drop his wages, to play in the club, and then why not go to Saudi and get more money? Like, if you want to, if you are talking about money, if you need like more money, if you don't want to drop your wages because the Premier League is actually really not interested in you that much, and if you actually, because of maybe money or because of maybe your management or your desires, why don't you just move over to Saudi Pro League and play in the Saudi Pro League, where you're gonna get more money, and then maybe later on you come back or you end your career there? Because right now nobody understands what's happening with this guy anymore. I don't know if it's the trust from the Premier League teams, or maybe because of bad management or lack of technical or personal assistant to give some kind of advices. But this is a player we actually really do want to watch every day, week in, week out, not in some kind of leagues, but he's finding it very difficult to maybe play in a league where I think he deserves to play. So for Victor Osimhen right now, it's actually something very crazy to respond to where he's stuck right now as far as his transfer market is concerned. It's really something really disturbing. Likewise, guys, just advise that you stay tuned, because we have more news coming to you, and of course we're gonna see how tomorrow transfer market is going to look like, and then all the players and updates that where they are coming from and where they're going, and we're going to bring to you very good transfer windows.